Welcome to the DCTV News at Noon program. I'm Kelsey Kiesling.
And I'm Kendra Cook. Dolores County Broadcasting Network is the producer of DCTV, and the Southwest TV Translator Association underwrites the news show.
If you have a news topic or tips you'd like to see covered, give us a call. The studio number is 677-4119.
Today's show is Wednesday at noon and rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired on Saturday at noon, 3 and 6. Today is October 4th, 2017, and now the news at noon. From the Journal, a Monday night fire claimed a residence on the road 24.4 loop in Cortez. Cortez firefighters were called to the scene northwest of the city off North Broadway at 11:57 p.m. Monday after a neighbor reported seeing the flames. The house's owners had reportedly been in Las Vegas since Monday morning. Cortez Fire Protection District Chief Jeff Vandervoorde said responders believe the fire started near the back of the house, but they aren't yet sure what caused it or how long it had been burning when the firefighters arrived. A total of 15 firefighters and 4 trucks from the Cortez, Luis Arriola, and Dolores fire departments responded to the blaze. Vandervoorde said it took about an hour and a half to extinguish the flames, and some areas were still smoldering Tuesday morning. Another Cortez fire engine went to the house about 9:30 a.m. Tuesday to hose down remaining hot spots and to investigate the cause of the fire. Vandervoorde said he didn't believe anything in the house would be salvageable, except possibly the contents of the garage, which appeared to be the last place the fire spread. It's pretty much gutted, he said. If it's not burned, it's smoke damaged. He said the house's owners had been notified about the fire, but he declined to release their names. No other structures in the neighborhood were affected, and no injuries were reported. The incident remains under investigation.
Reported by the Durango Herald, a district court judge on Friday found probable cause to support a first-degree murder charge against a Durango man suspected of strangling his wife earlier this year in the Lightner Creek Mobile Home Park. Prosecutors played a 911 call and parts of a 2.5-hour video confession Friday during a preliminary hearing for Silvino Martinez Perez, who is suspected of killing his wife, Crystal Martinez Perez, age 33, late April 16th in Unit Number 7 at the Mobile Home Park, 907 Lightner Creek Road, County Road 207. Silvino Martinez Perez, age 35, called 911 at 12:01 a.m. April 17th to say he killed his wife. He sounded calm and made no apparent effort to cover up his actions. "Yeah, I just killed my wife," he said when the dispatcher answered the phone. He went on to say his 3 children, a girl and 2 boys, all under the age of 10, were asleep inside the house. He went outside and held his hands up until law enforcement arrived. During an interview with investigators for the La Plata County Sheriff's Office, Martinez Perez said he and his wife were having marital problems. He is charged with first-degree murder, 3 counts of child abuse, and 1 count of abusing a corpse. For someone to be found guilty of first-degree murder, prosecutors must prove premeditation. Defense lawyers argued Martinez Perez didn't act with deliberation or intent before suffocating his wife. No appreciable amount of time passed between the argument and the strangulation, which means there was no time to reflect and formulate intent, said public defense lawyer Jonathan Jordine. Judge Suzanne Carlson disagreed. He is next set for an arraignment hearing at 1:30 p.m. November 2nd in District Court in Durango.
From the Journal, in an effort to improve deer and elk habitat and to reduce the buildup of fuels on the ground, Colorado Parks and Wildlife plans to conduct a controlled burn on Lone Mesa State Park in the Groundhog Reservoir area the week of October 9th. The operation could be delayed depending on weather conditions. The project is being conducted in cooperation with the Colorado Division of Fire Prevention and Control, the BLM, the U.S. Forest Service, and Dolores County. About 300 acres will be treated. Smoke may be visible from Dolores, Cortez, along U.S. Highway 491, and for several days after the burn operation. Fire crews will continue to monitor the burn until it is completely extinguished. The prescribed fire will reduce fuels including dead wood, overcrowded unhealthy trees, and thick layers of pine needles. Those fuels can contribute to catastrophic wildfires. The Colorado State Forest Service and Colorado Parks and Wildlife have been implementing a program of fuels treatment and thinning throughout the 12,000-acre Lone Mesa State Park for several years. The ponderosa pine areas were mechanically thinned from 2014 through 2017. Some trees were cut for lumber and others for firewood. These areas were also treated in 2016 when large piles of debris were burned. Scott Elder, manager of Lone Mesa State Park, explained that a management plan for the burn has been written that addresses safety issues. Land managers looked carefully at the area and its location relative to homes, roads, and other smoke-sensitive sites, he said. The burn plan is written to minimize the negative impacts of smoke, especially to individuals who may be smoke sensitive. If you see smoke from the Lone Mesa prescribed burn, please do not call law enforcement or fire departments. For more information, contact the Lone Mesa State Park office at 970-882-2213.
From the Durango Herald, police are searching for a man suspected of attempted murder for trying to slash another man's neck last weekend in downtown Durango. An arrest warrant has been issued for Sean Christopher Giovanni, age 29, of Durango, said Commander Ray Shoup with the Durango Police Department. Giovanni is suspected of using a razor blade, possibly a box cutter, to slash the face of Dayon Hudson, age 24, of Ignacio, Shoup said. The incident was reported at 1:03 a.m. Saturday in the First National Bank parking lot, 259 West 9th Street. Hudson was at Colorado Pangas, a local bar and pool hall, before leaving in a car. While driving, he realized he had a flat tire. He pulled into the bank parking lot and realized the tire had been slashed. While leaning down to inspect it, he was approached by Giovanni and they had a fist fight, Shoup said. Giovanni got on top of Hudson and from behind used the box cutter to try to cut Hudson's throat, Shoup said. He apparently missed and instead inflicted an 8-inch cut into Hudson's face. When officers found him, he had a major facial laceration, approximately 8 inches, very deep slash across his face, just above his neck, Shoup said. They've had a long-standing beef back and forth with one another. Giovanni fled the scene, yelling something to the effect of, "That's what you get for raping my girlfriend," Shoup said. We don't have any information of a sexual assault occurring. Giovanni has a very extensive criminal history and a very violent criminal history, including felony menacing, possession of concealed weapons, intimidating a witness, and assaults, Shoup said. He is believed to be armed and dangerous. Police believe he is in the Four Corners, but so far have been unable to locate him. Giovanni goes by several aliases, including Sean Ludwigson, True Giovanni, True Da Vinci. He has Da Vinci tattooed in script on the right side of his neck. Anyone with information about Giovanni's location is asked to call Detective Brian Heaton at 375-4734. We'd just like to stress, please don't attempt to confront this guy, Shoup said. He's a pretty violent dude.
From the Journal, mine waste that was used by an Environmental Protection Agency contracted crew to resurface a road north of Silverton has been cleaned up and removed, according to agency officials. Andrew Mutter, a spokesman for the EPA, said the mine waste was removed sometime last week. The remote County Road 53 has been returned to its original condition, he said. Last month, it came to light that the EPA contracted crew, St. Louis-based Environmental Restoration LLC, used potentially toxic materials waste from a waste rock pile outside the Mogul mine for road improvements. A half mile to 3/4 of a mile of road was graded with the mined waste. EPA officials said the agency needed to make improvements to the road so it could transport heavy equipment up to the Mogul mine to install a water pressure gauge behind the mine's bulkhead and install a gate at its entrance. According to Mutter, EPA's on-scene coordinator Paul Pernaud directed environmental restoration to use the mined waste to resurface and widen the high-altitude road. Pernaud is still an employee of the EPA, Mutter said. The decision to use material from the mined waste pile drew fierce criticism, not only because the pile is a significant contributor of degrading water quality in the Animas River watershed, but also because San Juan County was not notified of the project. They used waste rock that was not treated or processed or modified, and that's a concern for us, San Juan County Commissioner Pete McKay said last month. We have some wetlands and fens down there. San Juan County Commissioner Scott Fetchenheimer, a geologist and former miner, said he inspected the area twice and found a significant amount of pyrite in the rock, which is the main ingredient to acid mine drainage. We were definitely unhappy with what we saw, Fetchenheimer said. Just wasn't a good move. Rebecca Thomas, the EPA's project manager for the Superfund site near Silverton, named the Bonita Peak Mining District Superfund site, said she was unaware at the time of the decision to use the mined waste. We asked them to do the work, but we don't necessarily tell them how to do it, she said last month. EPA works in 2 crews at the Superfund site, a remedial crew and a removal action crew. Thomas mostly manages the remedial side. It also just so happened that Albert Kelly, one of EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt's senior advisors, was touring the Superfund site when the group discovered that mined waste was used to grade the road. He promised us last night, September 20th, it will be taken care of, Silverton Town trustee Pete Massell said last month. I believe he was pissed off at his own people. According to EPA spokeswoman Cynthia Peterson, the cost of the temporary road repair is estimated to be $18,000. That total includes the cost of labor to place the rock on the road, which took 2 days, and the cost to remove the waste rock, which took 4. Peterson said EPA estimated that the cost of permanently repairing the road using material from outside the Superfund site would have been about $80,000, which includes purchasing the road base, personnel costs, and obtaining necessary equipment. The time to have procured and then received the road base on site would have been approximately 2 weeks, she wrote in an email. The contracted crew, Environmental Restoration, is the same company that was doing work at the Gold King mine in August of 2015 when it breached the portal of the mine, causing a 3 million gallon spill of mined waste in the Animas and San Juan rivers. That event eventually led to the declaration of the Bonita Peak Mining District Superfund site last year, which includes the cleanup of 48 mining sites around Silverton that affect water quality in the basin.
From the Cortez Journal, tribal leaders from California and Washington state last week discussed the potential of opening the potential opening of legal marijuana businesses on tribal lands. Several members of the National Indian Gaming Association attended the meeting and touted the financial and health rewards. David Villalpando, Santa Ysabel Gaming Commission chairman in Southern California, said the Yipay Nation has a marijuana enterprise that didn't require a financial investment but reaps revenue. Villalpando said the tribe creates revenue by leasing tribal lands for growing marijuana, taxing licensed dispensaries, and charging regulatory fees. The tribe has 6 cultivators, 1 testing lab, and 1 distillation facility that are all run by non-tribal tenants. The business takes up approximately 10 acres. The marijuana is strictly for medical use and goes to licensed dispensaries outside of tribal land. Recent moves to legalize medical marijuana on the Navajo Nation reservation has been stymied, according to the Navajo Times. Villalpando mentioned at the conference that marijuana businesses have the potential to be more lucrative than running a casino. Arizona has several casinos owned and operated by Native American tribes, while no Arizona tribal officials have expressed public interest in being involved in the marijuana business at this time. In a 2011 meeting with tribal leaders and Arizona Department of Health Services officials, those at the meeting expressed unified opposition to a medical marijuana law, according to a DHS report. But the group, which included representatives of the Hopi, Gila River, and Tohono O'odham tribes, also suggested DHS reach out to tribal elected leaders to see if they later wanted to determine if their tribe would want to set up a medical marijuana dispensary on their reservation land, subject to state rules and regulations, the report said. Villalpando said whether such businesses will work on tribal lands depends on state regulations. Bill Sterud, chairman of the Puyallup tribe of Indians in Washington, said the tribe's involvement in the recreational marijuana businesses has improved the economic circumstances and health of its tribal members. Marijuana use is legal for people 21 and older in Washington state. Sterud said tribes looking to go into the cannabis business should keep an open mind, educate their tribal members on the health benefits, and follow state regulations. Annette Bryan, Puyallup tribe council member, said marijuana businesses provide medicine for our people. And now here's our weather report.
Regional satellite image shows moisture flowing up through New Mexico that will likely result in showers and thunderstorms for La Plata and eastern Montezuma counties today. Grand Mesa, Moffat, and Rio Blanco counties in the northwest corner of the state are under wind advisories today, with 45 miles per hour or more expected. The jet stream supporting all this will remain over the area through tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms over just to our east will also continue into tomorrow. The northwest part of the state will see weak moisture Friday also, and early next week may have lower than normal temperatures. A low will be entering the central states early tomorrow. The leading edge of that cold front will quickly move through the Great Lakes and the northern high plains through to the southeast and mid-Atlantic region. However, the trailing edges of that system, where it will be over the central and southern plains, will be slow moving, so showers and thunderstorms will produce heavier rains at times, resulting in flash flood possibilities from the southern plains to the mid-Mississippi Valley today. As that front lifts and a warm front moves into the central plains and the Midwest, the risk of excessive rainfall will move northward tomorrow. Light showers on higher elevation snow is forecast for portions of northeast Nevada today. This will expand to the northern Rockies by late tonight as an upper level low drifts northward over the mountain west. Snow accumulations are expected to be a couple of inches or less there. Widespread to numerous showers and thunderstorms are expected over Florida for the next few days. Copious amounts of tropical moisture combining with instability will bring widespread showers and thunderstorms through Thursday. Subtropical moisture on tap in deep South Texas will also yield showers and thunderstorms every afternoon through the next few days. Today's high of 74, we're all for. Tomorrow will still be close at 73. Friday will be down noticeably to a 62 and a pair of 68s for the weekend. Lows start with a 49 tonight, then upper and mid 30s for the rest of the nights through Saturday night. Winds of 15 to 25 today and gusts to 35 will feel nasty enough. 5 to 15 miles per hour tonight and tomorrow and Friday. Mostly sunny and sunny days throughout into next week are the order for DCTV Country. Now back to the news.
Reported in the Cortez Journal, authorities are still searching for Matthew Johnston of Rico, who has been missing since September 4th. According to the Mineral County Sheriff's Office, Johnston made a 911 call explaining that he was lost. The call was traced and his vehicle was found parked at an overlook on Wolf Creek Pass. Search and rescue teams from Archuleta and Mineral counties have combed the area but have found no sign of him. Canine Search and Rescue of Dolores participated in the search using a dog on September 26th, said Response Director Chuck Melvin, but it found no clues. An Archuleta County Sheriff's Office Facebook post states that authorities will continue to investigate and track Johnston's cell phone. As of now, Matthew is considered a missing person, the post states. Thank you for all your concerns, and please keep Matthew's friends and family in your thoughts. If you have any information, please call the Mineral County Sheriff's Office at 719-658-2600.
Ralph Keeling, professor of geochemistry at the Scripps Institution of Oceanography and program director for the Scripps CO2 program, said in a study just out recently in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, supports a long-standing theory that some plants become more efficient at using water under higher carbon dioxide concentrations. This is a boon for the planet, allowing for more efficient photosynthesis. The chemical process by which plants make food for themselves requires both carbon dioxide and water. If plants around the world continue to adjust to rising carbon dioxide concentrations, increasing their biomass on a global scale, they could actually help offset some of our human carbon emissions. Carbon atoms can come in several different forms called isotopes. The most common is carbon-12, which has 6 protons and 6 neutrons. Another is carbon-13, slightly heavier, 6 protons and 7 neutrons. Because fossil fuels such as oil are naturally formed from dead plant matter, they also contain a smaller ratio of carbon-13 to carbon-12. Burning them releases this plant-derived carbon, rich in carbon-12, deficient in 13, into the air all at once, changing the naturally occurring ratio of carbon isotopes found there. Measurements show that the atmospheric ratio of 13 to 12 has been growing even smaller over time. It turns out that most plants tend to favor 12/13 for carrying out photosynthesis. Does this mean they're superstitious or the grass is just greener now? This means plants tend to contain an even smaller ratio of 13 to 12 than normally occurs in the atmosphere. Keeling and a group of scientists from the US and the UK and the Netherlands demonstrated that accounting for changes in plant behavior can explain the discrepancy. They say plants are sucking up even more carbon-12 from the air than they used to. on a scale large enough to affect the atmospheric ratio. Joseph Berry, an expert in global ecology at Carnegie Institution for Science, not involved in the research, says the prognosis for global vegetation on the whole remains unclear. But the study suggests that burning fossil fuels could already be changing the planet's ecology on a large scale. It may shed new light on a tricky climate conundrum. We need to know more than just the world is changing, Berry said. We need to know how it's changing.
Reported by the Cortez Journal, the Mancos School District has an extensive remodel plan for its antique school buildings starting next year, if it can secure the funding in this year's election. Mancos voters will decide on a bond issue in November that would increase the district's debt by almost $5 million and pay it off with increased property taxes over the next 20 years. The money will go toward a $25 million renovation of the entire campus, including several new safety features and outdoor improvements. As part of their ongoing outreach efforts on behalf of the ballot question, members of the district's volunteer board committee led a few town residents on a tour of the campus Monday night to show them where the buildings need improvement. The oldest building on campus is the Mancos High School, which was built in 1909. It is listed on the National Register of Historic Places, and it has the antique plumbing to show for it. But every building on the campus suffers from some level of disrepair, from leaky roofs to outdated electric systems, and many of them lack safety features such as sprinkler systems and secure doors. The majority of the remodel project is being funded by a $19.7 million Building Excellent Schools Today grant. The district is also applying for a Great Outdoors Colorado grant to build a new playground. Only a handful of residents attended the tour on Monday, but Benson said feedback from the community about the bond issue has been mostly positive. The bond committee plans to give a presentation on the bond issue and the remodel at Mancos Public Library on October 23rd.
From the Journal, the third annual Dolores Harvest Festival at Apple Orchard Social will take place on October 14th at Flanders Park from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Locally grown produce and meat will be for sale, and heritage apple trees will also be available from the Montezuma Orchard Restoration Project, or MORP. There will be a beer garden and locally made hard cider by Teal Cider. Live music will be provided by local band the Tom Lynn Acoustic Experience from noon till 3 p.m. with special guests joining in. We continue to grow the event, said Rocky Moss, director of the Dolores Chamber of Commerce, which puts on the event. This year, the live music will go longer. The beer and cider area is larger, and we added a new vendor that sells local beef, wool, and lamb. Montezuma Orchard Project representatives will discuss their mission of reviving the fruit orchard industry in Montezuma County and promoting agritourism. They have been collecting historic apple varieties and growing saplings to distribute throughout the county. They are also planning a community orchard in Joe Rowell Park. We have a lot of trees for sale at the Harvest Festival this year, and quite a few rare and unusual ones, said Jude Schoenemeyer, co-director of the Orchard Project. Some historic apple trees for sale include Thunderbolts and Baldwins, plus a few of the very rare Colorado Orange variety. Cider varieties will also be for sale, including Egremont Russet and Orleans Rainet. The Orchard Social is a way to educate people on growing and restoring orchards, sharing different ways to prepare apples, and teaching how to make orchards economically viable again, Schoenemeyer said. Unfortunately, this year's apple crop did not do well because of freezes in May and June, but he said planting more orchards provides more insurance against total crop loss. Andrew Schaefer of the local Cedar Mesa Ranch is attending the festival for the first time to sell his grass-fed Angus beef, Navajo churro lamb, meat, and wool. Our cattle and churro sheep are adapted to thrive in the Southwest and produce an excellent product, he said. The churro lamb is a unique meat and has a sweet and juicy flavor because they do not store fat like other sheep. Refrigerated packages will be available all day. Churro yarn and roving for hand spinning will also be for sale. It's all naturally colored with high luster, Schaefer said. Also at the festival, there will be Navajo tacos for sale, the Lady of Our Victory Church will be selling burgers, and there will be free galloping goose rides. An assortment of pumpkins and gourds will also fill the vending tables. It's all about fall spirit, bringing together the community and bringing people into town, Moss said. Last year, the event brought in around 350 people to town, she said, including many drop-in tourists and hunters. The event attracts about 20 vendors every year, and there's still time to reserve a spot. Vendor booths are $50, and for nonprofits, it's just $25.
And now for the Dolores County Sheriff's Roundup for the week of September 25th through October 1st. The Dove Creek and Egner residents, including the Sheriff's Office, lost access to long-distance calling over the weekend. CenturyLink was contacted. A town resident reported to an officer that a neighbor regularly trespasses into their yard in order to pick flowers out of their flower bed. A deputy investigated a report of a dog killing chickens in the county. The sheriff's office received a report of criminal mischief by a local residence. The case is under investigation. A caller reported a vehicle possibly off the highway in Cross Canyon. Upon further investigation, it was a piece of state-owned equipment that had been parked in the location. A resident is looking for a lost small blue jump drive. If found, please turn it in to the sheriff's office. That's it for this week's roundup. Stay tuned for next week's report.
Today's High Canyon Country happenings, October 7th, contractor yard sale from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Habitat Restore in Cortez, hosted by Habitat for Humanity, Montezuma County, and Restore. This one-day fundraising event will benefit Habitat for Humanity's of Montezuma County's build projects. They'll be selling new and lightly used building materials and house and garden items, all generously donated by local construction companies and their suppliers. It's great stuff, great prices, and a great cause. October 8th is the 4th annual Mancus Harvest Dinner on Grand Avenue from 2:30 to 6 p.m. They shut down Grand Avenue, line the middle with tables, and fill it up with great food, wonderful conversations, and a lot of laughter and good times. There will be activities for the kids and adults alike, a costume contest with prizes, come as your past or future self, music, great food, and good cheer. Bring a plate, cup, silverware, and a potluck dish to share. They provide the tables, tablecloths, and some main dishes. Enjoy the best of the fall with your friends and neighbors eating in the middle of Grand. This is a collaborative event with the Mancus Creative District, Mount Lookout Grange, and the town of Mancus. October 6th, live full moon ghost hunt at the Billy Goat Saloon in Bayfield from 1 a.m. to 4 a.m. They will hunt the world famous Billy Goat Saloon of Gem Village, Colorado after hours on the full moon of the 5th. Tune in on Four Corners Paranormal Investigations Facebook page and help them gather evidence, as some things broadcast may not be seen or heard by those on site. What will they find? Tune in and see. This group is pursuing paranormal activities all around the Four Corners. All of the happenings are posted up on our DCTV News at Noon Facebook page, along with the YouTube replays, weather and original stories, and local posts. To share your event or information, contact us. It's dcbnnews@gmail.com or call the station 677-4119 and we'll be sure to get your news on air.
Thanks for tuning in. News at Noon airs live at noon Monday through Wednesday and then is rebroadcast at 3 and 6 p.m. and again re-aired Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the same order at noon, 3, and 6.
And be sure to check us out on Facebook. It's DCTV News at Noon. Please like us there and share it with a friend.
For Kendra Cook and Jerry Tope with the News at Noon program out of Dove Creek, USA, I'm Kelsey Kiesling. Thanks for watching.